All right, yeah. Do you think it is worth having somebody else also take a look at this for KEP approval, or just?
Yeah, I tagged a couple of people on there.
Got it.
Oh yeah, I still need proper feedback on that PR.
Sounds good.
Hi.
Hey, Antonio.
So sorry for being late.
No, no worries. We were actually just mentioning you. So
What is missing? There are some PRs.
So yeah, it's the cap for
Oh,
yeah, you need to opt that cap in.
yeah. So I knew that was going to happen, but it had to happen. And I don't know. I mean, as I told you, I think that this was the problem is that the discussion is going towards, oh, let's choose one tool for the CI, and I think that's not the discussion. The discussion is there was some people working on adding jobs, and there is a new necessity, and it turns out that all this work that has been done in the past can benefit our new development. So I think that you are happy that is. Eh?
Can you just repeat that again for a second?
So what I'm saying is that there's this long-standing discussion about, oh, what tool are we going to use for our CI, right?
Yeah.
And every community wants to add their tool because the one thing is you get early feedback, the other thing is you have more visibility, but there are a lot of implications. But in this case, I don't think that this is, oh, let's pick a tool. Is you were doing some job without any hidden agenda of saying, oh, I want to put cops. Actually, Deans had some documents and he was not proposing cops in the past. And there was another job that added cops as the CI for scalability. So I think that what this really is just a progression of this job that people were doing in the CI. And what I want to see in the CAP is how we are going to validate that these new jobs are good enough, right?
Okay, so that was kind of answered in the sense that we would launch we would create new jobs. Those jobs would launch clusters created by cops, and they're gonna run the same test suite, and those tests should pass. And for the most part, they are passing. There's just a few badly written tests that A shouldn't be there, or two need to be rewritten because of how the components have been deployed.
Yeah, but those tests, I don't know why they are even running. Why cannot we skip those tests?
Well, because somebody defined it so some tests. So okay, so we have test suite 1, which just runs conformance. That's passing right now with no modifications.
Yeah,
We
but
also have a
conformance
job
is
that runs every test except serial and disruptive. So we do pick up tests that not working, and those
okay.
tests
So
do need to be rewritten or removed. So I don't see why we need to skip that test. I'm proposing you get rid of it because it's not a working test.
okay. I just okay. That's fair, and I think that the I don't know, Michelle. I think that from those tests are these things like are 2015 or
Like there's a
something.
test, for example, that tests the functionality of Cube Add-on Manager. That thing's been deprecated for years. The
Okay,
test
so
passes because we have legacy add-ons that we deploy in Cuba. But
okay.
like if you use CapG or Cops, for example, it's not going to deploy Cube Add-on Manager. So that test
Yeah,
is
okay. It's fair. It's fair. I mean,
there's a lot of things like that crop up, right? We don't see it most of the time because most of the time we run conformance tests, right?
no. We need to run all the tests. Who runs conformance only?
Yeah. Oh, the cops grid of like 1,000 tests a week is all conformance. There's nothing else.
But the conformance is very happy scenario. We need to pass everything.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm
okay.
saying. So conformance is piece of cake. It passes. I need to get serial flaky. It's not flaky, disruptive,
Okay.
that are not serial to pass. Most of them are.
The next question is that thing is how we evaluate the release cycle entirely. So what I want to say is you're saying, we get the test and everything passes, but I think that Aaron has some dashboard that have more information. I really want to compare the performance of the different jobs in a release cycle, right? So this job was failing 50 days or 30 days, and the other only 10.
Okay.
Because
The
because
baseline is the tests should fail right now. Every test configured should pass. What is failing because it's broken, we'll remove it so we get clean signal. So on our way towards the end of 129, I want all of the new jobs to pass.
yeah, but the thing is,
Smart is flaky.
right, but what I want to see is the experience that I'm saying is these people that have jobs in parallel. Like I don't remember. One was a cluster API job, another was those maybe take 1 week in red, right? Because they have some specific component or some specific thing. So I want to be able to, at the end of the release, to say, okay, this job was 99% green and this other one 80% green, despite the last 2 weeks where I think that Michelle, you have something in TestView for that, right?
For which exactly?
So the average reliability of a job in a wider span, right? Not only for the last 15 runs. I think I don't have something that put in the big query.
Are you talking about the Kate's church thing?
What?
Health analysis analyzes has like a very basic flakiness trend. That might be what we're talking about, because there's either the alerting for like when it counts as a continuous failure, or health analysis for the like how is it trending like week to week or period to period. Either way, like we also have the API and like know where states are stored and whatnot. It should be grabbable or like analyzable. Somebody wants to do a script.
Okay, that's good enough. So my main concern, Mohammed, is like that, right? Imagine that we go in the next release, and during 2 weeks the job was failing. Name it, it's a cops thing or whatever thing, but it was two weeks failing, right? And the other jobs wasn't failing. Just that was in the middle of the release. We go to the end of the release and we say, oh, this last 15 days is completely green. But
okay, I think I
we
understand.
were 2 weeks on red, right? We can pull this data, and that's something that I would love to have. This more metrics, more release focused metrics, not only in the last round. My main concern is the supportability of the tool, right? And as if I don't know, COP is changing releases meanwhile the job is testing, or are we pinning to a specific job release?
I don't think it is, because cops, the only thing we care about cops is how good is the business logic that creates the infrastructure, and does it do that reliably? And it's cluster provisioning business logic. That stuff is stable and hasn't been changed for a long time. The cloud APIs are stable. The code that they wrote that creates the VMs and ensures all the Kubernetes control plane programs are running, that stuff is stable. It's well tested. You won't have problems upfront.
But that's why I want, and you see the cap, and you see how many people is complaining. That's why I want to be
but
rock solid based on
valid,
facts.
You already established that CAPI is not a valid, it's not a suitable replacement. CAPG, while it exists on paper, I can't use that thing. It has no docs. It's not
That's but I don't want to. But okay, but we are making a decision here from move from one pile of bash script that has been super readable, right? I mean, I cannot say how much readable is, but at least I don't remember this thing to go red for more than 1 or 2 days. So what I want is in the CAP, we reflect for the rest of the community and the posteriority to say, we choose this tool, and this tool has demonstrated to be as much as really as readable or more readable than the previous one, right? So
Okay.
we have a proof that we took a decision, and we have the facts that our decision was right? I don't
Okay,
want to
so
enter into ideological or technical details because this has this way or this has the other
okay,
way.
if we're interested in reliability metrics, I can pull that up because cops have been running EV tests for a long time. And I've got the data to show that.
No, what I'm saying is the criteria in the CAP. As criteria in the CAP, when we decide, oh, this release, these job scopes are good enough, we need to base this good enough in some data, right? And what I'm proposing is this data is all the runs during the release. So
Okay.
otherwise, how do you demonstrate that?
Okay, so what's the baseline then?
The baseline is the GC job.
Okay, so baseline is parity with keyword tests.
Exactly. So
Okay.
when we hit the next milestone in the CAP, we say, how do we measure that COPS is the right replacement? And we measure because we say it's as good or is much better, right? Or is reasonable, statistically good enough, right?
Okay.
I want to have some objective metrics because otherwise we keep in this ending discussions of, oh, you should choose this, you choose the other. I have 100% of unit test coverage in my project. I don't care. I care about Kubernetes CI being adamantium.
Okay, I get it.
Is that
Okay, so
fair
the
enough?
CAP kind of mentions that, but it doesn't explain it in full detail, right? It just says make the job go green. But I can write a bit more and say go green means pass the current set of test suites, same parity as keyboard clusters for all of 129, and then we make a decision in 130 if you want to guide with this thing or
No, I don't think that you need to write a lot of things. I just want a criteria with objective metrics and how we are going to get these metrics, right? To
okay.
compare. That's it's I don't want people to write and spend time on writing. It's just to be clear, is this is going to be our criteria. Do we agree? I agree. If you tell me I'm going to pull the data of the last runs and see, how many failures and the rate of failures, and for me that's an objective data, right?
Okay.
So I mean, but we should have some objective metrics to on the cap.
All right, sounds good.
Uh,
In the meanwhile, while we're gathering those metrics, I have some broken tests that I kind of need to fix as soon as possible to clean up.
yes, assign to me, and I'm going to try to pull Ben because he has some historical context. And I assign all to me, and I will go through then tomorrow by morning.
Okay.
If anybody else want to step up to do reviews, be my guest.
I'm willing to do reviews, but I also don't necessarily have a lot of context on like this specifically, like Qbot versus cops, for instance. So I don't know if I would be super helpful. I can help on grabbing some of the stats or whatnot if you're using some of the test grid stuff for that though.
Yeah, we are. We've been running the tests for the past 2, 3 weeks. Performance is green. Let's see. Easy. If I pull up my screen, I can see what is going on. I can't share my screen.
Sorry, do you need?
Yeah,
that?
I need co-hosting permissions.
Yep, my bad. What to do? Okay, should be up now.
All right, let's see. Just give me a second. Okay, all right, you can see this, right? Oh, this is where we're at today. Performance is very happy. Alpha's got a bug that I'm fixing. But once that's done, it should be fixed.
Oh, does
This
this
is
not have the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was surprised to see only that many rows.
yeah. So this is basically all the slow tests. We've identified that there are bugs. There's a bug here with this one. I've got an open issue for that. This test should be deleted because that's a cube add-on managed test. That's not really available in cops. So slow will go green once we fix those two. But it's not really a Kubernetes core bug. It's a bug in cloud provider. Let's see what else we got. Destructive is a bit of a wreck. I don't know what's going on. I need to talk to somebody about this. I think we're in the same boat with Serial. There's a lot of bugs with the storage tests. I don't know what's going on. And then the other one is this one here, right? So this is all the tests except Serial and slow and destructive. Yeah, it's looking good. I know what the bugs is with these two we're missing. So Cops doesn't install the kubelet credential provider for GCP. Once it does, and I have no PR for it, and these top two will go green. This needs to go away because it's a test that checks firewall rules created by the keep up scripts, which is not relevant here. I'm not sure what's going on with MPD. I need to talk to somebody from SIG-Node. And then once I fix that, it will be fully green. And then we have the baseline that we need to look at. And then from that day, we can count and say, for the last N number of weeks, these jobs have been running side to side, same commits. It's all green. The cops isn't introducing flakes. And tests are passing reliably.
Yeah. Okay.
Antonio, does that align with what you were asking earlier?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. In the cap, it's not written as many words. It just says make these jobs green. But I can add a bit more words to that. Say
Yeah, but if you check the span of the jobs, you only have data for the last 7 days.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I would love to do some check on the whole.
I could make test scripts for this thing indefinitely. But yeah, the other thing is it does run quite a bit too frequently. It runs multiple times a day.
But I think this data is stored somewhere. Michelle, you know where this data? I know Aaron has. He pulled some data from all the runs and did some statistics.
I know where the data is stored, and we should also have an API that is accessible to grab it in a slightly more user-friendly way, rather than munching all the raw files. But both are possible.
What it was
Okay.
called. But yeah, that exists, so we can go and dig it up and see how it looked like over the last, let's say, 30 days after everything goes green. My pressing priority right now is to get rid of tests that shouldn't be there, and fix bugs in cops and in the GCP cloud provider.
Okay. So I don't think that we should. I need to check, but I don't think that we are forced by the KEP freeze schedule and everything. This is independent.
Oh, so you're saying it's not important to opt this capping for this release till the tests are green and everything's good.
What I don't know is if we need to follow the KEP strict rules, because those are for SIG release and features related to the release, and this is something that is not aligned to the release itself, right?
Yeah, not in the current release cycle, but probably the next one or the one after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, okay. So we have this pull request, and we have all these jobs that we need to fix. Do we have the release notes? Can we add these links to the release notes or?
The meeting notes, I mean.
Yeah, I was talking about releases. And sorry, my mind is like the test grid link that you just shared. Can you put it there?
Yeah, it's in the meeting notes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just click. Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. That's really great progress. And I need to chase Ben to see if, because I don't have any clue about those tests. If it was me, I will remove them immediately. Let me check.
Yeah, because a lot of that stuff is like stuff that's been there for a very long time. But
Yeah. But you know that the startup
when they
has been
created
for for a very long time. Then you remove it, and like 2 months later, somebody comes, "Oh, you broke my CI." Okay.
Yeah, I guess so now that we have a post discussion, like what are the actual action items for following up on this? It sounds like Mohammed and Antonio, you're possibly pulling in Ben to do some stuff, but is there other stuff? Like
Yeah, there are open PRs in KK to delete tests. So I need Ben to approve that. Part one. Part two is there's an open issue in the cloud provider GCP repo for someone to fix how load balancers get provisioned when you're using custom subnetwork mode, which you should be. You shouldn't rely on people using auto networks.
But that I was talking with Justin about that. It's not that he told me. I think that the version is too old. Do we know if that's the problem? The version.
No, that's exactly the problem because that's the error message you get from the Google APIs. The logs in the cloud controller manager keep complaining about cloud APIs saying you can't create this forwarding rule because you're using custom network modes and you tell them what subnet you want to put it on.
But my question is that fixed in a newer cloud
No,
provider?
we're testing
No?
with the latest cloud provider and it's not fixed.
Okay. So I need to revisit
Like,
that with
so I
Justin.
made a change in COPS to actually test with the latest cloud provider and it's still broken.
Yeah, okay. We are going to release new images. I'm working to have official images from cloud
Yeah,
provider.
that's another fun thing we need to fix before this goes to production.
Yeah. Too many things.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie that cloud provider GCP is somewhat abandoned relative to the other ones.
No. We're going to fix that.
Yeah,
You are right, but that has to be fixed.
yeah, sounds good.
cool. Anything else?
That's it from me, really. I don't have anything else. I'm gonna keep squashing all the bugs I can in COPS because there's quite a fair bit in there. The COPS maintainers have been very helpful, so.
Cool. Yeah, your work is appreciated. So thanks for all the detail here. We are currently at end of agenda. Are there any other items that folks want to discuss? All right. If not, then thanks everybody for joining and see you on the Slack if there's anything else to follow up on. But otherwise, have a great week.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Take it easy.